Hello and welcome to Qsports. I'm Amadou Gajaga and thank you very much for joining us. On tonight's show, we have a special guest that we are going to talk to, Pamodu Kar, former Norway international and now coach of the Pacific FC in Canada. Well, Pamodu Kar has an illustrious career at club level and he also played for the Norway international. At least he has 10 caps with the Norway international team. And now he's retired, now he's into coaching. And just recently, just a few days ago, well, I would say sometime last month, he extended his contract with the Pacific FC team. We have him now on the line joining us live from Canada. Pamodu, welcome to the studio.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mother. How are you guys doing?
We are very well here and we wish you all the best of luck in your coaching career. First, we'll have to look back when you started playing football. As a footballer, you played for Norway at the international level. But let's look back at your club level. You started off in Norway and then you played in Europe before moving to the United States of America, where you played for clubs like Vancouver Whitecaps and as well as other clubs in the MLS before you hung your boots, and now you are a coach in the Pacific. Tell us about your career, how it pans out.
Well, I was born and raised in the Gambia until I was 8, and then I went to Norway. At the time, my father was there, so one of the reasons that I went to Norway was to get education first, and then I played for the club that he was playing for, and then when I was 16, 17, I signed a professional deal. And at that time, it was not much choice to whether play for Gambia or not, because it was not really the same view when you were African playing in Europe. You either had a passport or you're not. So for me, I wish I could have played for Gambia, but it didn't pan out that way. But I'm very happy to see how the talent development is going with the Gambia, with a lot of players playing around the world. So I wish in my time that we had the same, let's say today's generation with the Instagram and everything, so people could have seen us, but I was happy I found out. So I played in Europe for all my career almost, so then I came to MLS when I was 33. Just to enjoy a little bit of my last years. So I retired at the age of 36, then started coaching directly, and then fortunately now I'm a head coach. So I'm here to pave way for our people.
Well, tell us about the difference between coaching and playing football. There's a vast distinction, obviously. As a player, many expectations from the fans that you should help the team win, whether you played in the defense or whether you played in midfield or in attack. Obviously, the supporters and even your coach would rely on you to do the job. Now that you are in a different environment, now everything is centered around you. It's the coach who has to do the job on the pitch.
No, for me as a player, I'm somebody that I truly believed about leadership amongst players. But as a player, you just focus on yourself. Like you just selfishly, you're just thinking about yourself, the game that you have to play, the trainings you have to go. As a coach, you have to think about the whole group. Right, there's 23 different personalities that you have to manage, so it's more about management and looking after people, because everybody has different needs. But for me, by the end of the day, it's still the players that have to perform. You know, it's my job. It's my job to make them prepared. The preparation is ready, but when they step on the pitch, it's their game. So they just have to go out and enjoy it and play the best of their abilities.
You signed your professional contract with the Pacific FC sometime last year in January, now that your contract have been extended. But because of the COVID-19 pandemic, the league is on hold. But at the time when the league was being suspended, you were at 4th position in the league. looking at your position and doing the analysis in the league and the competitiveness of the league and as well as the players that you have at your disposal, do you think you have done well as the head coach of the team?
Well, it's sad that we've just played 10 games, but given where they were the year prior, I would say we did very well because they were second to last. And now to put them in fourth position and had the possibility to fight for championship, it was good, but you know, it's easy to tell over the course of a season what I've done well or not, and hopefully this year we'll be able to showcase what we are capable of. So for now we training and we're looking forward to this season to properly showcase what we're capable of.
Tell us about how coaching is in Canada for black people. Well, somewhere in Europe, well, many black coaches would say we don't have the opportunity or we are not given the opportunity like other coaches. Some would even go as far as blaming race for that. You, as somebody who is from Africa, you played and now retired, now you have a professional coaching job in Canada. To tell us about life there as a coach or as a black coach.
Nah, as a black coach, we know it's very rare. We do not get the opportunities that the other coaches get. White coaches, for us,
but are we
it's
good
more
enough?
of yes. I do it good enough because, like myself, I took the courses, I took the pro license, everything. The problem is, and that's what I try to tell people, I was the first black man to play for Norway, so it was my job to pave way for other foreigners, for other black people playing. So for me, it's just another obstacle to showcase that we are capable of doing the same work that our white counterparts are doing. Because for me, it's about leadership, and with leadership, it doesn't look about gender or color. It's about the equality. But it's not easy in Europe because in Europe it's more of a emotional racism. They know it, they see it, but they will not tell you. But there's a lot of qualified black coaches. You cannot tell me that Frank Lampard, who played in MLS, stopped 1 year and coach for Derby, and the second, and then he can go coach for Chelsea. And the same happened with Ashley Cole, Sol Campbell. So there's a lot of black coaches that are capable of doing the job, but they're not given the chance.
Okay. In terms of the people who watch football as we know it, that's the global name, but as it would be known in somewhere in Canada or in the US as soccer, what's the reaction of the people when they look at you on the sidelines, you know, giving instruction to players? Do they look at you as a strange person, or they welcome you with open arms?
I think here is different because of the multiple sport, and they see a lot of black players and coaches excel in different sports. Some like in basketball, but it's not the same in NFL. NFL doesn't have that much of black coaches, and in soccer as well, it's not many black coaches. I'm the first black one in Canada, but in whole North America, I would say we are 3 or 4 black coaches. So for me, it's not strange. It is a very small number, and I think given where we are around the world right now with the world, I think that there's a lot of black coaches that are capable, but they're not being given the chance.
Looking back at your footballing career, we've talked about your club football and you choosing Norway over Gambia. Well, I read one of your interviews with the BBC. You said no regrets at all because at that time Norway offers you the opportunity that the Gambia wouldn't offer you at the time. Lots of challenges when it comes to Gambian football. The ranking wasn't as great as it is right now. But at this moment, now that the Gambia qualified and you're a coach, are you one day willing to coach the Gambia? Let's say, for instance, the national team or any of the other teams?
Of course. No, I mean, with my time, what I tried to explain to people was where Gambia was and where Norway was. It was a choice for me. It was an easy choice because at the time Gambia was not even looking at me, and Gambia was not the football nation that we are now. If it was now, I would definitely choose Gambia because it's my homeland. You know, Norway is my adoptive country, but I was looking out to pave a way for me as a football player, so the choice was not that difficult, so I don't regret that. I don't regret making the choice because it brought me to where I was right now, and I don't think it would have brought me if I chose Gambia at that time. Maybe not, we don't know. But seeing the difference is Norway had structure, Gambia didn't have a structure, which is very important in football. You need structure. And to see all our players that are playing out right now in Europe with the structure they have in their club team, they're bringing it back to the national team, which is fantastic. And for us to qualify for the African Cup of Nations with the quality that we have is amazing, being a small country. So for me, I am representing Gambia in a different way. I didn't represent them playing, but I'm representing them as a coach. And for me, that I get satisfaction from that. But I do believe that if a chance allow itself, that is something definitely I will jump onto, because there's nothing more prideful than coaching your own national team. Absolutely. So there's something that down the line I would love to do.
If you look at the Gambia football structure as you commented on it right now, that it has improved now that we've also qualified for the Africa Cup of Nations. In terms of your connections with the Gambia, well, some of the players or African players who are even born in Africa but ended up playing for European clubs, European national teams rather, and other international teams, some of them would give back in a way. They would help up, maybe set up an academy. That is, if they can afford that. Some would, support football in a small way, maybe giving balls or maybe giving jerseys to some of the. Have you been in contact with any Gambian team, or maybe sort of trying to give back, or maybe to help some of the younger generation of players growing up in Gambia?
Obviously, I've done my part because I'm not somebody that posts what I do.
Oh, you're not that type.
Especially
You're not the
helping
camera type.
people. No, if I help somebody, it's coming straight from the heart. I don't need nobody to see it. But I am in works with a lot of things that within a couple of months people will see what I'm trying to do. But for now, I cannot speak about it much. But it is definitely in the making. But I've given back. But I don't need to sit here and speak about it like everybody likes to speak about it, because for me it's just the work I like to do without nobody knowing.
But others would say it's going to emulate others to say, you know what, Pamodo did a very good job. I'm going to emulate him. I'm going to try as well.
Well, I think people know because, like I say, Footy Danso is like a brother to mine, and the story that people don't know that when I came to Gambia and I gave away cleats and stuff like that, he actually benefited from it without me knowing until we met again and then played together. So it was so those are the stories that I like, and there's some things definitely in the work, but like I say, for us to work through we need a strong structure in the Gambia. If we get the structure in the Gambia, Gambian players will make it with the small amount of players that we have, but also the country being that small, there's opportunities. But the opportunities, people must understand that the opportunities is rare, because for people like us in our position, we don't walk into the job every single day. So we have a spare window that we have to showcase where we are good at, so that the rest of us underneath us, we can open the door for them, and they can be great.
When you were in the MLS, you Gambian Partnership. You just named Footy Danso, who
Yeah.
played for the Portland Timbers, and as well as there was a video of you that I watched with Kekuta Mane, went viral on
Yeah.
YouTube. It's there. You were having fun. How does this help as Gambians playing in the MLS at the time?
Oh yeah, it does help. We like I say, we're proud people coming from a small nation, and everybody know about the Gambia. That is wonderful, and that's what we want. We still want people to know that who Gambia is and what kind of people we are. And everybody that meet us, that we are a loving, fun, caring people that works hard. And come from a tiny country, like people say, but I mean, it does help. It does help to push each other, to open doors. Mansali was there. The Mustafa Jajo was here with the Whitecaps. Tubabo. So was the Seni and Sana twins. So which is great. And I do believe that more young Gambian players will be coming here down the line in the future. That's why I say when Gambia get a great structure in football, it will be fantastic.
And part of that structure needs good coaching. Technical capacity of the coaches, I think, should be high up there. But they should be standing out whenever it comes to player development. And also the infrastructure as well, which currently is very poor. Well, some of the players would just play 1-2 season. They have a good season, and maybe because they have a certain good connection or an agent who has seen the talent of the player, and they ended up exporting them to Europe where they are properly developed and all of that. But do you think if there is a proper investment in infrastructure and as well as the technical capacity of the coaches in future, certain teams can get players directly from Gambia straight into Pro League?
100%. That's why I said structure and infrastructure is the biggest thing, and that's where Europe and other countries are ahead, because when they take the time to put the infrastructure and the structure in place so that the development of players is recycling inside the country, and therefore they can move, because the amount of talent that is in Gambia is enough to sell players. But people are thinking about, let's say, the money first, the money part rather than the development. That's where it goes wrong. We must think development. We must think to create a structure and infrastructure where we can nurture them, to make them understand that the steps they're taking is not only going to benefit them, but for the future generations down the line. Like right now, we're going to the African Cup of Nations. So what are we going to do now to ensure that we can be a nation that will continuously grow those talents and be able to qualify again? So that's why structure is very important. Giving time and having a vision and a philosophy in place. You need that. You cannot just chop and change anytime people want, because you don't like it. You have to stay true to a vision and a philosophy and a structure.
Looking back still at yourself, how you came through the life of football, playing pro and then retiring, now you're a coach. Football and education, tell us something about what you've learned, because these days you have a generation of players. Some of them, stop school at a very, very early age, some primary school, some a junior school. The importance of education and sports at the same time.
Sports is life. So is education, and for me, and I had to do both. So my dad told me, I didn't bring you to Norway to raise a fool. So I had to do my education, because you need something to fall back on in case of injury. We cannot only rely on the game, because a football career can be short, can be cut short. Injuries, you're not good enough, or the coach don't like you, so you're out of the game. So education is also important. So but sports teaches you life and culture because it takes you different places around the world. It's over a billion people that are playing this game. So like I said, I was fortunate enough to travel to the Middle East. I played in Holland, I played in Sweden, I played in MLS, so I get to see different cultures, different people. So that's the part of the game that football teaches you, cultures and life, which is very important for you.
Football teaches you, which is hugely important. And Pamodu, we really do appreciate your time on this program. We'll now let you go. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to talk to you and share your story. And we as well wish you all the best of luck in your coaching career.
Thank you very much, and thank you for having me.
Appreciate it.
Take care.
That's former Norway international Pamodu Kah, now coach of the Pacific FC in Canada. He had played professional football, retired, and now he's into coaching. And one day his vision is to coach the Gambia senior men's team. Yes, why not? To have some of our talented people get one day handling the national team. We'll take a short break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about the Gambia Football Federation's First Division League. Some exciting matches. All right, now, welcome back if you're just joining us. This is Qsports and I'm Mamadou Gajaga. We're going to talk about the Gambia Football Federation First Division League. Well, Fortune, who are currently the leaders, extended their lead. It was initially 7 points between Fortune and Armed Forces, but they won against Marimo, despite not being at their best, by a 0-0, and that was enough to extend the points to 9 points. And second place, that is Armed Forces, had a 2-2 draw with Hawks. It was another exciting game, as well as the other match between Brikama United and BK Milan. Lots of good play, and Ibu Kante scored the only goal of the game. While for some of these games, let's enjoy this comprehensive report as we look back into the teams that have played so far, and you would also see highlights of other games like the Gambia Ports Authority, who had a 1-0 victory courtesy of a Lawrence Bass fantastic free kick against Walidan. Over the last 1 week, the talk has gone viral on social media that former Scorpions player Mamadou Cisse, alias Zico, and Ibrahim Sohna have joined Fortune. This is how Fortune coach Jane Juve reacted to the rumor.
Yeah, a rumor is a rumor. Sometimes people can have clear sources of what is being rumored as well. Seeing Zico and Sohna training with Fortune doesn't mean that they're going to play unless and until we officially announce to the public that they are going to play for Fortune. But at the moment they are training with us, so it's not certain whether they are going to be part of our setup in the second round. Although we have some inclusion of new players who are yet to be featured as well, maybe in our subsequent games. But at the moment, Zico and Sohna are training with us. We don't yet have the words from them that they are going to play for Fortune in the second round.
Fortune enjoyed a comfortable lead at the halfway stage of the league before Friday's game and showed no sign of relenting. Despite not being at their best, they still managed a win thanks to Ensar Keita's second-half strike. Marimo suffered their second successive defeat, although in this match they were the better team, having more of the possession and creating several chances against Fortune. Coach Mamadou Jallo is again frustrated with his team's wastefulness in front of goal.
Some of the chances you are missing in this game, you cannot teach them those kind of chances to score them. It's a matter of, concentrating, relax, and do the job. Look at the Fortune goal. You just relax and hit the ball where you're supposed to hit it. The second passing command, finish the goal. So obviously, some of them you cannot teach them, but some of them you have to go to the drawing board, told them we have to pull out the ball and we have to play the ball. So when we go back, we work on that.
GPA defeated Walidan 1-0 with Lawrence Barr's 11-minute superb strike from a free kick, making the difference in the other match. The Sateba boys from Brikama showed strength in possession early on with a fine Ibu Kante move before Seni Sambo hit the bar with a thunderous shot. Despite dominating possession, it was not until the 75th minute when midfielder Lamin Balajo drove in the box, backheeled it for the incoming Domingo Mane to set up Ibu Kante, who tapped in what would become the winning goal. BK Milan had their moments in the first half through their star player Buba Jammeh with some dazzling runs and flashing shots. Their team got a boost when Gambia under-20 midfield sensation Wally Fofana came on in the second half. His presence was loved by the crowd, prompting wild applause whenever he had the ball. Being well aware of his influence, Brikama United matched and nullified his threat with timely interceptions. Reacting to the win, Brikama United coach Modula Minyasi says winning consistently is hugely important for his side.
We said it, we won 3 matches in a row, and then we want to make it 4 to be the most consistent team. So, I mean, if you want to win the league or if you want to compete, you must be consistent. And I think winning 4 matches in a row is a little bit of consistency. So this is what we are working on. And the next match is also another tough game. So anyway, I think we are doing fine.
BK Milan coach Bafode Bojang expresses frustration over the defeat to Brikama United.
Yeah, I think I can say the concentration and when Wally came in the second half. You know, in the first half we were playing as a team. We were controlling the game, you know, keeping the ball, making some good passes, you know, behind the defense. But when Wally came, so, you know, he's a good player, but that, you know, he have to improve on that to release the ball, because if he released the balls today, we could have scored 2 to 3 goals.
Friday's other game produced class and beautiful goals, as Armed Forces drew 2-2 with Hawks, with the Soldiers' side taking the lead twice before being pegged back. At the end of the night, the win sees Brikama United in 3rd place, level on points with 2nd place Armed Forces, with both teams 9 points adrift of leaders' fortune. BK Milan remain one of the 3 teams on 12 points. 3 points above the last placed Telinde United, while the single point gained by Hawks sees them in 8th place. With that, we say thank you very much for watching this broadcast. Until we come your way, keep on sporting and bye for now. Have a good night.